You've been following rules your whole life that were designed to protect you. But what if they're actually keeping you trapped? Right now, in this moment, your mind is running through its checklist. Did you eat the right thing for breakfast? Check your bank balance lately. Take your vitamins. Reply to that text fast enough. We live by hundreds of these invisible laws we've created, believing they're keeping us safe. But here's what we rarely notice. These very rules that promise security are creating the constant background anxiety we're trying to escape. Think of Sarah. She refreshes her investment app obsessively throughout the day, checks 3 different weather apps before leaving the house, and keeps backup plans for her backup plans. She calls it being responsible. Her friends admire how together she seems. But Sarah is exhausted from trying to control every variable, from managing every possible outcome, from enforcing all the rules she believes will keep disaster at bay. The truth is, we've created countless laws we think we must follow to stay safe, from health rules to social expectations to financial security protocols. We treat these mental rules like they're carved in stone, like breaking them would mean certain catastrophe. But these rules aren't keeping us safe. They're keeping us imprisoned in a state of constant vigilance, always checking, always worrying, always trying to stay one step ahead of imagined threats. Think of your mind as a maximum security prison where you're both the warden and the prisoner. You've created hundreds of rules: when to eat, how to act, what to fear, believing they keep you safe. You patrol the corridors of your own thoughts, checking that every regulation is being followed. Did you exercise enough this week? Are you saving the right percentage of income? Did you say the right thing in that conversation? But here's what's strange. You're so busy enforcing these rules that you never notice the cell door was never actually locked. You've been guarding yourself against dangers that exist primarily because you believe in them. The prison only has power because you keep agreeing to be both the enforcer and the enforced. One morning, Sarah's phone dies. No investment app. No weather updates, no email. For the first time in years, she has to just walk outside and see what happens. At first, panic rises. How will she know if it's going to rain? How will she track the market? But then something unexpected happens. She notices the actual sky, not the weather app's prediction of it. She feels the morning air on her skin. For the first time in years, she feels oddly light, like she's been carrying invisible weights she didn't know were there. We really believe these rules work. We think that if we check our email frequently enough, we'll never miss anything important. If we monitor our health metrics obsessively enough, we'll never get sick. If we follow the right financial formulas, we'll never experience lack. We've turned life into an endless compliance checklist, and we wonder why we feel trapped. But notice what actually happens. The more rules you create for safety, the more unsafe you feel. The more backup plans you make, the more you expect things to go wrong. The very act of trying to control every outcome creates the anxiety you're trying to prevent. It's like trying to hold water in your fist. The harder you squeeze, the more it escapes through your fingers. Sarah discovers this in the days following her phone's death. Without her apps and alerts, she expects chaos. Instead, she finds that the sun rises without her checking sunrise times. Her investments fluctuate without her watching. People respond to her when they respond, not when her anxiety demands it. The world continues to function without her constant management. This is where everything starts to shift. When you stop treating your safety rules as absolute truth, something remarkable happens. The constant background anxiety of, am I doing enough to protect myself, begins to dissolve. Not because you've become reckless, but because you're discovering a different kind of safety, one that doesn't depend on your vigilant management of life. There's a deeper trust available to us, but we can't access it while we're busy enforcing our made-up laws. This trust doesn't come from checking more apps or following more rules. It comes from recognizing that the rules themselves are optional, that they're stories we tell ourselves, not ultimate reality. Sarah learns to distinguish between practical choices and anxious rituals. Yes, she still checks the weather sometimes, but not as a superstitious ward against uncertainty. Yes, she still manages her finances, but not from a place of trying to control an uncontrollable future. She discovers what remains when you stop enforcing your own prison, a surprising sense of freedom, a lightness she'd forgotten was possible. The only real laws aren't the ones we create in our minds. They're much simpler and far more generous. They don't require our constant vigilance or our exhausting management. They operate whether we're checking our apps or not, whether we're following our rules or not. These deeper laws don't imprison, they free. What would it be like to live without constantly policing yourself? To trust something beyond your ability to manage outcomes? To let the cell door swing open and discover you were never actually trapped? This isn't about becoming careless or irresponsible. It's about recognizing the difference between practical wisdom and anxious control. Think about tomorrow morning. You'll wake up, and your mind will start its familiar routine. Check the phone, check the weather, check your messages, check your schedule. But what if, just for a moment, you paused? What if you noticed the prison warden in your mind starting their rounds, and you simply didn't comply? What if you discovered that the sun rises, your breath continues, and life unfolds even without your tireless supervision? The relief isn't in having no structure in life. The relief is in discovering that you are not the one who has to hold it all together. You can make choices without making laws. You can be responsible without being imprisoned. You can be safe without the exhausting vigilance that never actually protected you anyway. In recognizing that we are under no laws but the deeper laws of love and freedom, we discover something our rules never provided: actual peace. Not the temporary relief of checking off all our boxes, but the profound rest of no longer needing to be our own prison guard. The door was always open. We were always free. We just couldn't see it while we were so busy enforcing the rules that promised a safety they could never actually deliver. Before we move into the meditation, if this is helping you, you're welcome to like the video and subscribe. It's a simple way to keep practicing together. Let yourself settle into this moment. No apps to check, no rules to follow. Just you, here, breathing. Notice your body finding its own comfort. You don't have to arrange yourself perfectly. Let your shoulders drop. Let your breath find its own rhythm. Feel the weight of all those rules you carry. The shoulds, the musts, the constant checking. Notice how heavy they've become. Now imagine setting them down. Not forever. Just for these few minutes, like putting down heavy bags after a long journey. Feel your breath moving naturally. No right way to breathe. No wrong way. Just breath happening by itself. Notice the space that opens when you stop enforcing, when you stop being the warden of your own experience. There's room here. Room to just be. If your mind starts listing what you should be doing, that's okay. See it like clouds passing. You don't have to chase them. You don't have to obey them. Rest in this space between the rules. This quiet place where nothing needs managing. Where you discover you're already safe, already held, already free. Feel the relief of not having to guard the prison, of discovering the door was always open. Stay here as long as you like. When you're ready, bring this lightness with you. The rules will still be there, but now you know, you don't have to be their prisoner. Open your eyes when it feels right. Move gently. The freedom stays with you. Thank you for practicing with us today. If you'd like, there's a link to a free digital copy of ACIM in the description. And if this video resonated with you, please comment. I am grateful. Thank you for taking this time to question the rules that run so much of our lives. As you go back to your day, be gentle with yourself when you notice the old patterns. Freedom isn't about perfection, it's about recognition. The prison door is open whenever you're ready to notice. Until next time, travel lightly.